Got him!
You just got wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. For the second day in a row, Bitcoin is having a beautiful green day. You can see we were all the way down at around 8,600. We got a nice pump to around 9,002. Went sideways for a little bit. This morning, we got up to $9,500. We have had a slight pullback, but actually Bitcoin has been basically trying to push higher and higher all morning. So very volatile right now. By the time you're watching, we could have totally different Bitcoin prices. But what do you guys think? The fact that basically Goldman Sachs comes out yesterday, has some negative things to say about Bitcoin, and on the day of the client call and the day after, we're seeing very good movement in the price of Bitcoin. Conspiracy? What do you guys think? We're going to talk about that, but the chart that I really want to look at as well is the fact that we have CME futures. I think this is the chart to look at. Don't forget, Friday is the last Friday of the month, which means that the contracts are expiring. We do know that we have seen massive moves on the final Fridays of every month. I'm going to talk about what we could potentially be expecting today. That is important to get into. We are going to talk about this Goldman Sachs, client call that came out. Lots of theories and speculation about that. Also want to play a video clip for some of you that have not seen it. And finally, I want to end on some big crypto adoption, some more news that I do consider to be bullish fundamentally in the background. So if all that sounds good to you today, super quick video. Thank you for stopping by. If you're not subscribed, well, do consider it. Every Monday, we give away a Ledger Nano S. Drop a comment below if you're interested. And without further ado, we need to dive in because this price is going crazy right now. So yesterday, you could see, now this is a screenshot, it's not a screenshot, but it's the BLX chart, so it's frozen on yesterday's chart, and you could see right here, we were trying to break above this key resistance when Bitcoin was sitting at around that $9,200 level. Well, fast forward to today, we had the breakout, and I actually want to point out the fact that we finally got above the basis on the Bollinger Bands. I was stressing the significance of getting above this level because the longer we stay below it, the more opportunity we have for the price to dump. Now, we're not out of the woods just yet. We do need to put in a nice solid daily close, but as of the time of making this video, we are looking quite good that we are staying above it. I also want to point out that for a pretty much fourth week in a row now, we find ourselves back inside of this pretty much channel, which we haven't spent much time in for Bitcoin. And if we can really stay in this channel and break above some of this key resistance, and this resistance is really around the $10,300 level, that is like the ultimate send it to the moon level. And don't forget, guys, we are in what I believe to be a descending broadening wedge, you can see right here. And these patterns do have an 80% chance of breaking to the upside. And I did show you guys in a video from last week that target is at $15,500. Now, keep in mind, a lot is riding on what happens this weekend, where we close, what happens on Friday, most specifically, when it comes to the CME chart, which I'll show you in just a bit. But you can see right here, we are back in the ascending channel, right? We had a little bit of a fake out down here. We did retest some of this lower support, and we bounced back into the channel. Having a look right here, you will notice that we do have a short-term target of around the $9,650 level. We could get some massive rejection at that point, where then Bitcoin could end up bouncing back into this sort of descending triangle, which unfortunately do end with sell-offs, usually if they get to the end, which could bring Bitcoin back down to the $7,700 level. I'm not getting bearish, guys. I just want to show you that having a look right here, the one thing is, even though we have not reached the top over here on the spot chart, we have reached the top on CME. Why is CME different? Because CME only trades 5 days out of the week. They don't trade on the weekends. So all of the indicators, all of the moving averages, all of the patterns are different. And it's very important to look at this chart, especially when we're looking for these contracts to expire basically within 24 hours, okay? So it's very important that Bitcoin does stay above this level, which is around the 9,500. Let's just round it to 9,600. So if Bitcoin can close above 9,600 and stay there over the weekend, that is massively bullish. If we do fall below, around that level, then yes, we probably are going to retest the bottom of this and then continue sideways. And this triangle could go all the way out to mid-June. However, we do know that Bitcoin does tend to have breakouts and breakdowns sooner than later. Now, lots of people saying, well, Bitcoin had massive 20%, 30%, 40% pullbacks during the crazy bull run of 2017. So aren't we kind of due for another major run? Well, you can see Josh Rager points out Bitcoin actually had a 26.3% pullback on May 17th. And if we have a look at all of the 30% plus pullbacks that Bitcoin had during its 2017 bull run, you basically had these pullbacks, the time between averaging around 98 days. So we already had that pullback. You could be looking for another potential 3 months of, price action before having a major pullback. Not saying that's going to happen this time. We are at some major resistance, but just keep that in mind. But I need to talk about the fact that we have Bitcoin demand absolutely skyrocketing. So look at this statistic alone, okay? Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust bought 18,910 Bitcoin since the halving. At the time of this post, which was yesterday, there were only 12,337 Bitcoin that have been mined, which means that the demand just by Grayscale, GBTC, Bitcoin Trust alone is higher than the amount of Bitcoin coming out at the moment. So people were worried about, the supply gets cut in half, but is the demand there? Hello? Yeah, the demand is certainly there. So you're probably saying, where are these guys buying it from? Well, they're buying it from OTC sellers, but the point I'm trying to make is that the new Bitcoin coming out can't even match the demand of this one single entity. If that's not bullish, I don't know what is, guys. And I also want to just point out by the way, I really love following Velvet over on Twitter. This has to be one of my favorite Twitter accounts. But anyway, he says, daily dose of bullishness. Some people complain about volume not being bullish. Did you zoom out? People were saying, some of the volume leading into the Bitcoin halving wasn't bullish. Well, have a look at this chart if we zoom in right here. Leading into the halving, volume drops. Then we have a massive blast off. Same thing with halving number 2 back in July of 2016. Volume drops, then we have a massive blast off. Well, zooming in right here, what do you guys see? Volume dropping off, okay? So not saying that history has to repeat, but it's just something to consider. Now, let's talk about this Goldman Sachs news. Now, yesterday, we did have some of these getting leaked. Today, we have the entire slides, all of them available. If you're interested, if you want to look through this, I'll drop it below in the links. You guys can go through all these cards just like as if you were there, at the presentation yesterday, right? But let's talk about some of the responses, okay? Because I have to go over what some people were saying, and then I'm going to give you my opinion, and we'll talk about it. But you could see that basically the Winklevoss twins were they were really hammering in. So Cameron says, hey, Goldman Sachs, 2014 just called and asked for their talking points back. Bitcoin was declared a commodity by the CFTC in 2015 in the coin flip order. So yeah, it's an asset whose price is set by supply and demand, just like gold, just like oil. It's a commodity. By the way, I love this response. Son to his father. Look at this Bitcoin chart. Father, want to hear my opinion on Bitcoin? Son, sure. Father, it's worthless. Son, I know, but let's hear it anyway. Like as in his opinion. Anyway, we had the other Winklevoss twin chiming in as well, saying that Goldman Sachs in 2019 said that 2.8 billion in Bitcoin was sent to currency exchanges from criminal entities. Fun fact, Goldman Sachs facilitated 6 billion in money laundering in one DB scandal between 2012 and 2013, double standard much. We also have some theories like from Charles Hoskinson over at Cardano. He says, Goldman Sachs, we don't recommend Bitcoin on strategic or tactical bias to our clients' investment portfolio, but what they're actually saying is, please don't buy the stuff that puts us out of business. We are disintermediated and lose control. And yeah, like Ivan says, hotels hate Airbnb, taxi drivers hate Uber, Nokia hates Apple, banks hate Bitcoin, losers hate winners. Also, Barry Silbert just says Bitcoin market cap is bigger than Goldman Sachs market cap. But like Adam Back said, and I do want to go basically on this point moving forward, Goldman Sachs aren't the smart money for a few years. They don't get Bitcoin, digital scarcity, censor-resistant asset class with GBTC buying out 2/3 of the block reward, too early for followers, good time for Bitcoiners to stack sats, accumulate Bitcoin positions. Or on the conspiracy theory side of things, Goldman Sachs does know what they're doing. They're basically giving counter signals to their clients saying don't buy Bitcoin while they actually load Bitcoin up in the back. Oh, and if you don't think that this is the first time this has happened, I know plenty of you have seen this if you've been following my channel, but lots of new subscribers. I want to play this clip super quick from Tia Tavari or whatever his name is. But anyway, he's talking about essentially the fact that JP Morgan and, basically all these guys were fudding in the background. Basically, they were buying while nobody was paying attention. So I'm just going to play this clip from you super quick. You may have seen it before. If you have, fast forward, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it.
Okay, so then here now, Goldman Sachs, this, again, February 7th, most cryptocurrencies will crash to zero. Now, I remember when they said this in February, and I had, through my network, I knew that Goldman Sachs was setting up a crypto trading desk. Absolutely knew they were setting up a crypto trading desk. And
I remember you telling me that.
Right. And then, of course, they were denying it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Price falls down 27%. And then what do we find out? We find out here, they say BTC 0. And then we find out just before May, new trading desk. Not only that, they put $400 million to buy a cryptocurrency trading platform. Okay. So February 7th, it's all going to zero. May, we just spent $400 million just on a flyer.
And they're not the only ones.
No. So you have a lot of institutions that are coming. You had Christine Lagarde from the IMF come out. And this was, what's funny about this, Glenn, is it was all around the same time. It was almost like I can't prove collusion, but, it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. And you know what? It's probably a duck.
So it could just be all an elaborate scheme just to accumulate more Bitcoin. I mean, it's kind of interesting that the price of Bitcoin has been pumping for the past 2 days. Meanwhile, they're saying don't buy Bitcoin. But like Dan Tapiro says, Goldman Sachs does not make fees when a client buys Bitcoin. Buying Bitcoin is an implicit rejection of buying assets that Goldman Sachs sells upon which they make fees. Buying Bitcoin is a rejection of the worldview that they sell upon us, which they make fees. Or maybe everybody's just misinterpreting this whole thing. Ethan Vera, he's actually a former investment banker at Goldman Sachs, and he says, hey, look, Goldman Sachs is a large organization with many different divisions. The wealth management division's opinion on Bitcoin and crypto doesn't necessarily reflect the entire company's view. Oh, and if you've actually followed the wealth management division recently, well, they don't exactly have the greatest track record, do they? So that's that situation. Let me know what you think about that. Moving forward, let's talk about some big news. So Coinbase, one of the world's largest crypto exchange companies, you guys may actually use Coinbase for your purchases, recently acquired a crypto prime brokerage platform, Tagomi. Now, they were founded in early 2018. You ready for this? By Greg Tissar, the former global head of electronic trading at, you guessed it, Goldman Sachs. So it's all kind of playing in. Isn't this all kind of interesting how this all works out? So the company's core product is a prime brokerage platform designed to cater to crypto traders who make large transactions valued between $250,000 and $2 million US. So yeah, it does seem like basically what Tyler said. Crypto used to be where you ended up when you couldn't make it on Wall Street. The quality of Goldman Sachs' recent research on Bitcoin demonstrates that there have been a talent flippening. Today, Wall Street is where you end up when you can't make it in crypto. Also, speaking of the Winklevoss twins and Gemini, we have crypto exchange Gemini partnering with Samsung. Okay, Samsung's really been taking the forefront lately to basically let their blockchain wallet users buy and trade cryptos. Gemini has said that the partnership would allow over 4 million Samsung users in the US and Canada to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Samsung blockchain wallet is a non-custodial crypto wallet available for smartphones like Galaxy S10 and S20 series, and Gemini says their users can now store their crypto funds in the blockchain wallet or they can store them to Gemini. And like my good old buddy Robert Kiyosaki said, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, why do I say buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin? Answer, because I do not trust the Fed, Treasury, or Wall Street. Game of money rigged in their favor. Gold, silver, Bitcoin are outside of their control. As Fed prints trillions in fake dollars, gold, silver, and Bitcoin become harder, stronger, and more real. And on that note, guys, I think that is certainly enough for today's video. I want to know what you guys think. Are you bullish right now on the Bitcoin price? Do you think we're looking for some major rejection? I mean, like I said, we do have to keep our eyes right here on this chart. We do have the contracts expiring tomorrow. We have seen big sell-offs on the last Fridays. It's why specifically, I can't tell you. It's just that's what the charts have shown us. Maybe this time will be totally different. Maybe we are basically starting the next major cycle of the bull run. We have had the halving. I have basically shown you that the supply has been pretty incredible. In fact, the supply from Grayscale alone is higher than even the amount coming out from the miners. Pretty crazy, guys. Let me know what you think. That's it for me today. If you haven't got subscribed, definitely consider it. Drop a like, drop a comment, join the free Telegram group if you haven't, or don't do anything. Just simply showing up and watching the video makes my day. Thank you so much. You rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. I love you guys. My name is K-Dub. Be safe out there. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.